Hey there. This is an impromptu live, and I'm in my kitchen right now in Mallorca. Sorry about the angle. I have to put the computer on top of the microwave, and there's a shelf on top of me. But I wanted to have you come and cook with me. We're in holiday mode, and especially during the Christmas season, like I like cooking, I like finding new recipes. And there was one recipe that I found for, it's called cannellonis in Spanish with puerro and jamón york and queso, which basically means leek, ham, and cheese with bechamel sauce. And I'm just gonna take you along and chat with you while I'm here in the kitchen cooking. You can see I have all my oranges here. There are a million orange trees out in my property, and if you've been on my Facebook Lives or my Instagram Lives, you've seen that there are orange trees. And I have actually fresh orange juice, freshly squeezed orange juice, and I have a million oranges to squeeze. And so what I'm going to be doing is just kind of chatting with you. And if you're online and watching this, you can definitely go into the comments section and say hello, because I'll be able to see you. I'm going live on Facebook. I'm going live on in our groups, in our free Facebook group, The Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur. If you have not joined that yet, then please join, because you can get some really valuable free information on Zazzle and become part of our community. I'm going live on my Facebook group, Facebook pages, Elka's Facebook page, YouTube, and so we're on a whole bunch of different platforms right now, and this is just a fun cooking session. It's not going to be too informative in terms of Zazzle. It's just me chatting with you and getting into the holiday season. I have to bend over. I may need to find a better spot for my laptop and my camera, because I'm kind of hunched over on the cooking board here. But yeah, this is just a fun little chit chat to get to know me a little bit more, and then just to bring you into the holiday season. So if you don't know about me, I like to cook, and I'm going to be talking to you half up here and half down here. Sorry about that, because I obviously have to stand up and do things. But I've got my cutting board here, got a whole bunch of onions and my oranges, obviously. And what I'm going to be doing, I have to grab my leeks from the fridge, and then there's also a zucchini that I'm going to be cooking, a white zucchini. I don't know if they have them in your country, but here in Spain, there are the green and white zucchinis. It's kind of cool. And I just have to make sure I watch the time, because we do have our Profit by Design Academy course sessions later on, but this won't be too long. In the chat, or in the link of the description of this video, I've posted the link to sign up for our masterclass or workshop, on Friday. So Friday, December 9th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're doing a 2023 Zazzle Sales Planning Workshop. And if you have not signed up for that yet, it is $23. And a lot of people have already joined, and we're really looking forward to having you join us on Friday. And so in the comment section or in the link, the description of this video, I've already put it in. This video isn't to promote that as much as it is to cook with you. But if you're interested in joining our 2023 Zazzle Sales Planning Workshop, then click that link and you can sign up for $23 US and get access to our workshop. And you will get access to the replay if you're not able to join live, and you'll get lifetime access to the replay as well. So I'm making cannellonis. I have actually never made cannellonis before. If you know a fun fact about me, I also like to try new things, and we'll see if it turns out. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. But most of the time when I cook, it seems to work. And even though I've never tried it before, I've never done it. So I've got a pot of warm water here, and it's got the cannelloni pasta, let's say, soaking. Because what the recipe, and I have to check my timer because I put a timer on for 20 minutes. And what it's going to be doing is making the pasta soft, which I actually think it's already soft, which I need to watch out for. And I might have to take that out while I'm chatting with you, put it on a plate or something. Then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cooking onion, the zucchini, and I'm speaking in Spanish all the time, so I don't even know the names anymore of vegetables in English. It's really funny. Onion, zucchini, then the leeks, and then what I'm going to be doing is boiling the leeks and then wrapping them in ham, and then putting cheese on top, and then wrapping them in the cannelloni, and then putting bechamel sauce on top. So I have bechamel sauce, and this is also not like my true kitchen. Like, this is my rental home, so bear with me. The stove is electric, and I've never had an electric stove, and it likes to turn off when it gets too hot. So this might be a disaster of a video, but it might be a lot of fun just to watch me try and figure out the kitchen. So I've got my pan here, and I'm going to be cutting up my onion first of all. And I'm going to grab my leek as well. So give me a second here. So my leek, then we've got our white zucchini, which, as I said, I've never seen these before except here in Spain. Maybe it's something normal for you guys, don't know. I like this actually a lot better because for some reason the green, like dark green zucchini is a lot more stronger in flavor, and this one's a little bit more softer. I'm not a huge zucchini fan, but I think this recipe calls for it, and I actually have to check the recipe again, or I'll just make stuff up. But what I'm going to be doing, first of all, cleaning these guys, and then taking off the stalks, like the top part, and then actually boiling them basically whole or in slices. We'll figure it out. I have a million cannellonis, but I only have 3 leeks, so I didn't really think about that. Then chopping up my onion, chopping up my zucchini, and kind of making, let's say, like a mixture, like a stir fry type thing. And then I have to make my bechamel sauce and then cut everything together. I just also realized I wanted to do this recipe, but I don't have an oven pan. Like, I have trays, but I don't have like a container. So I might be making my cannellonis in a frying pan rather than in the oven. Not very traditional, and so I'm not a chef. I'm just an amateur, but I do love to cook. So as I said, this is going to be fun. So throw that out. Just going to check my cannellonis for a second here. I think they're pretty much done. So I'm going to grab a plate and put them on. And as I said, I'm sorry about my appearance. Like, the camera angle is a bit odd, but I'm here with you anyway. So we have some people online. You can definitely say hi and write in the chat. The only thing I'm a little bit scared about is that if I take these guys out of the water, that they're going to stick together. So I might have to put some olive oil on top or something, just so I don't get a huge, massive chunk of cannellonis rather than individual slices. I'm going to put some olive oil on top. Also, fun fact about where I am. So Mallorca is really well known for their olive oil, and it's delicious. So this is cooking oil, obviously. And this is also, I think, from Spain. Definitely from Spain, but I don't think from Mallorca. This is like salad, let's say, olive oil, and it's really good. So I like to put it on some of my stuff here. Oh yeah, give me a second. I think I threw in the whole package. This is obviously not going to be only my dinner for today. It's going to be something I probably am snacking on for the next couple of days because it's a lot of food. But I found this recipe and I just really wanted to try it out. They have some really cool dishes here in Spain that normally I would never cook in Canada. First of all, because we don't have the same type of produce or products. And second of all, just because, they like to invent things. Like, I've never heard of this type of cannelloni before. So I'm going to toss this water out here. Put that there. I'm going to put these guys to rest. Put some more cooking oil on top just in case. As I said, this might turn into a cannelloni pizza rather than actual cannellonis if they all stick together. Put that over here. All right. So, hi everybody. And yeah, if you want to leave, you can leave. This is just me chatting and going online. I'm just having fun because I need to make something for dinner, and I thought, why not go on live video? I got my makeup on already because I have my calls in a bit with our PDA clients. Fresh orange juice is amazing. If you are in an area where you can have fresh oranges and get them off your tree, because I know they're actually quite expensive in some places, this is the best. And you get one of these little machines here, and obviously you squeeze out the orange juice. But what I've done is I've actually, because I have so many, I know I'm all over the place, but I just wanted to tell you too here. So I have a water bottle here, and then so what I've done is I've actually filled up fresh orange juice in the water bottle because I like to have fresh orange juice, and it tastes so much better than the store-bought stuff that's like obviously already squeezed and whatnot. But yeah, just a fun fact. So next order of business is to cut my onion and clean it. And get a proper knife probably. Here we go. Rather than this little bitty. I started to learn how to cook, really, let's say. I mean, I've always cooked, but there were some really cool recipes and things that I learned here in Spain. And I also learned how to chop vegetables properly without cutting your fingers off, hopefully. And the one that has always bothered me when I was younger was trying to chop an onion because I could never get it fine enough. And one of the cool things that I learned here too is if you chop an onion up, and if you have a blender, like a hand blender or something, I almost lost it. You can get it really, really fine, and it actually helps with the dishes. So onion is like a staple here in Spain. And unfortunately, Elka can't really eat too much of the food because her stomach gets upset with onions. So when I'm not with her, I take advantage of the fact that I can eat onion because I love onion. And most of the dishes, as I said, the base basically in Spain is onion. Onion and tomato, basically. If you are cooking something that's like a traditional Spanish dish, they have like 3 vegetables that are basically, or also garlic too. So yeah, so you kind of cut it in lines. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to dice it, let's say as fine as I can. As I said, these aren't my knives and this isn't my kitchen. So, and there's my timer for the cannellonis stuff. So let's see, this knife is not really too sharp, but if you have a good sharp knife, things work out a lot better and easier for you. And if you have more space, right now I'm in a little tiny cutting board area here on top of my sink. So it's not really true chef etiquette, but at least I'm going to make it work. Yeah, these are very thick onions, but that's okay. And thankfully, too, I'm one of those people who, I don't know why, but I don't cry with onions as much, hopefully. Now that I've said that, I probably will here on camera. Jinxed myself. But the onions here in Spain, there's certain types that are obviously stronger or less strong in terms of their scent and what they, I guess, produce whenever you cut them. So thankfully, I can cook without crying my eyes out. I had a girlfriend here the other day, and we were making some lunch, and she started cutting the onion, and she started crying, and it was funny. And I just remembered that movie, Notting Hill, where he was wearing the goggles. I don't know if he was wearing goggles while I was cutting onions, or there's a movie that I watched and I can't remember, but I remember Hugh Grant, somehow he forgot his goggles or glasses or something and he put on goggles instead of the glasses. Picking out a little bit of these pieces here because some of the onion is a little bit brown, but that's okay. And toss that in my pan. Yeah, these are huge chunks. I would have cut these a little bit finer, but this knife is not happy with me right now. So what we've got now is to cut our zucchini, and I've set up a light here, which probably wasn't the best thing to do because I need to get into this drawer, grab the peeler. I know some people like to cook their zucchini with the skin on. I like to take it off because for me, then it kind of mushes up with all the rest of the other stuff that you're cooking and it kind of creates like a base or like a paste, I want to say. So chop that guy off and grab my towel here, blooding my hands so much. Okay, some orange juice. Everybody's a little bit quiet. We have a lot of people on. But you can definitely write in the chat. And as I said it, that I never cry with onions. My nose is starting to run. So, excuse me. Okay. Towel. I used to love cooking when I lived here in Spain. I had an amazing kitchen, and this peeler also. I want to make sure I don't cut my fingers because I've never really used it before. I used to have an amazing kitchen before I moved back to Canada after or right before COVID. And I would just have the most amazing dinner parties. I would have so much fun cooking. I would spend the entire day cooking, and then I would invite all my friends over. And we would just have a great time. And as I said, some of the dishes here, especially like in Spain for sure, but in Mallorca, there are some really cool recipes that are particular to this area. Because if many of you don't know, Spain has different like regions, let's say, and each of those different regions has a different type of food and or let's say mini culture. And so in Mallorca, they use a lot of really cool like beans, and there's this thing called sobrasada, which is particular to Mallorca. It's like my nose is running like crazy. It's like a red pork paste type thing, like a pate. And they do some really cool dishes with that. Lots of rice dishes, lots of dishes with chickpeas. I'm like, I'm speaking in Spanish because I've been speaking Spanish, obviously, since I've been here. I was in Barcelona for the last 2.5 weeks, and I've been in Mallorca now for about a week, and I'm here for the next 5 days before I go back home to Canada for Christmas. And yeah, I just love the food here, and then just the local markets and getting fresh produce and everything. Because in Canada, I mean, you go to the supermarket and you can go to your local fishmonger or whatever, but the food is not always as fresh. And here in Mallorca, they have, because it's an island, right? They have a lot of their own produce here, and it's really amazing. Like, first of all, olives for olive oil. Then we've got our oranges. Then they've got a whole bunch of let's say plants here. But yeah, olives, oranges, and also almonds for some reason are a big thing. Lemons and limes too. I have a lemon tree out back. Lots of really fresh fruit. I'm going to blow my nose really quickly off camera. It's a little bit better. And hi, everybody. We have some people popping in and I'm popping off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop this guy up. And as I said, this knife is not my friend right now. But I'm going to dice it again, kind of like the onion, so that it cooks and sort of, as I said, creates a paste. Because the zucchini, the texture, sort of, I want to say weirdly enough, it like melts. It kind of becomes very soft, right? And if you cook your onion and your vegetables for a really long time, which we're going to do here, because that's kind of the way they do it. They don't actually eat the onion like, let's say, whole. You cook it in the pot with olive oil for a really long time, so it becomes more like a sauce. And that's kind of what I want, because I want to add that to my bechamel sauce. Because inside my cannellonis, it's just going to basically be my, my leeks. So, do this. Feel free to chat in the chat. I feel like I'm just talking to myself, even though there's a lot of people online. But yeah, this is, if you're just popping on, this is just a very informal, come cook with me random session, because I have a lot of calls after this for our PDA group and our private coaching calls. And I need to make some dinner for myself. And so I thought I would just pop on and show you what I'm doing and just have a little, let's say, fun chat, whatever. And as I said, if you are just popping on now, I'm really sorry about the angle, because you're on my microwave right now. And the angle is like, there's a shelf here with all my cupboards and stuff. And so I kind of have to pop my head down a couple times here and there to say hello. So you can see my beautiful face. Hi. All right. So our cannellonis are out of the water. Now I'm going to take my pan, got my vegetables in here. Going to attempt to use my stove. The last time I used my stove, it stopped working on me because it got too hot. As I told everybody before, it's an electric stove, and so when it gets very hot, it stops working for some reason. A safety hazard, I guess. So I'm just going to turn my stove on. I'm going to throw in some olive oil. Olive oil is always a huge thing here in Spain. You have to cook with olive oil. A lot of people, let's say in Canada and the States, they cook with butter, but I've found that olive oil is the best, and I always use it like a good heaping amount. And olive oil is actually very healthy for you. I know that it's like high in, let's say, fats and stuff like that, but people here in Spain, like, they swear by it. Like, they use olive oil in everything, and it's actually extremely healthy for you. So a better option rather than obviously butter and margarine and all those things. So I'm just going to grab now my other things here. And I was also going to make, if we have enough time, because I do want to watch the time, tomato sauce, because I have a whole bunch of tomatoes here, and I bought it because I like putting tomatoes on top of, there's this thing here too where you toast a piece of bread, let's say, cut a tomato up, and then you actually rub the tomato on the bread. So you're not eating the full tomato, but you're basically covering your toast in tomato sauce, let's say, or tomato juice. And then you put olive oil on top, and then you put whatever you want, like meats or something, or you can even just eat the toast as is. People eat the toast as is here, just with tomato stuff on top. But because I'm one person and I bought a whole box of tomatoes, what I was thinking was I would also make tomato sauce. And it's basically, you just throw in a whole bunch of tomatoes with onion, and then you cook it down and simmer it down until it becomes like liquid, basically. And then what you can do is you can hand blend it. But I'm also thinking right now, I don't have a hand blender. I just have a mixer for like smoothies and stuff, which will also work. But yeah. So, but yeah, just basically, I always did 2 kilos of tomatoes or whatever you might have. And I have a whole box, and then onion, chop the onion up like I showed you just now. And then you slice the tomatoes in half, just kind of like throw them all in. You don't have to dice them or whatnot. You can if you want, but basically you're just cooking it down and boiling it down so that the tomatoes become liquid. So I'm gonna move this. Got my stuff going. Normally I would make bechamel sauce on my own, and it is basically flour and butter and milk, and you whisk it until forever. But I didn't have butter, and I didn't have flour, and I didn't want to buy a whole kilo of flour just for myself if I'm only here for a couple days. So I bought this here. So it's like a pre-packaged made one. But what you basically do is you just throw it in with milk, you let it boil, and then you stir it up, which is awesome. But if you ever want to make homemade bechamel sauce, it's actually quite easy, and I actually would prefer that. But as I said, I didn't want to buy a huge thing of flour just for me to make bechamel sauce for one dish. So while that's working, I'm now going to clean my leeks. Leeks are something that I never really ate much of until I came here as well. And they're weird and funny creatures because you're basically cutting off the top stalk, and then you have to peel it because there's dirt and stuff because they grow underground, right? And they're actually quite dirty inside if you don't clean them properly. And then it's really not the funnest when you eat the leek and it's got like grainy bits in it because of the dirt. Okay. All right. So if you're just popping on here, just wanted to also remind everybody that we have our 2023 sales planning workshop on Friday. And I think there's like a worm in there or something. Yeah, these guys, I like leeks, but you have to really be careful. So our 2023 Zazzle Sales Planning Workshop is on Friday, December 9th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link to join is in the description of this video. It's $23. You will be able to get access to the replay if you're not able to join live, and you also get lifetime access to the replay too. So if you want to join us, we already have a whole bunch of people signed up. We're really looking forward to it. Come and join us because it's going to be definitely worth it. Okay. So what we have to do is peel this guy back because I can already see that there's some pretty nasty bits. And I don't know if you can see that because it's going to focus, but it's just a dirty vegetable, but it's a really yummy vegetable too. And then it just has so many different layers and it has sand inside. You want to make sure that you take those bits out because you don't want to be eating sand and dirt. Okay. So now that that's clean, I'm going to do the other ones here too. And if you're just joining me, this is just a very fun, impromptu, come cook with me live video. There's really nothing too important that's happening here except me cooking, but then also mentioning that we have our workshop on Friday, which I just said. And we would love to have you join us there. And if you're already, like if you're just coming on, because I am live, this isn't like a planned video or whatnot, I'm making cannellonis with leek, onion, and green zucchini. You kind of always want to move your vegetables. You don't want them to burn. But the one good thing about zucchini and cooking with olive oil is that the zucchini, because it has a lot of water in it, it doesn't actually stick or burn too much. And I threw in a bunch of olive oil in there. So what I'm doing right now, you can see, please don't get on my computer, is it's just kind of doing its thing. I'm going to leave it there and let it cook for a long time because I want it to be more of like a paste or a sauce type thing rather than huge big chunks of onion. And then the leeks, what I'm going to do, which you don't need to watch me do because it'll be boring, is boil them. And I have to boil them for maybe about 20 minutes or so. Because what I wanted to do, and I'm kind of thinking about what I should be doing here now because I have a lot of cannellonis and only have 3 leeks, which I didn't think about before, is either throw them in the pot with my onion and my zucchini, chop them up, and then kind of do a weird mixture like that in my cannelloni, or slice them so that it's like in quarters, let's say, a lot thinner than this big hunk, and then wrap the cannelloni around that, which I should probably do while it's being cooked. After it's cooked, because it's going to fall apart in the pot afterwards. Anyway, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Just talking to myself here. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Cooking tips. Okay. There's also actually, I just remember this. There's a really yummy salad that they make here with leek and ham. You boil a leek, you chop it up really, really finely, and then you throw it in with ham and mayonnaise. And it's almost like a meat salad type thing. I don't know if anybody, we have a lot of people from Germany and stuff, but I love meat salad. But here I've had a leek one, and I've never had that before, and it was amazing. So I'm going to toss those in here. Put them in here. Turn this guy on. Let that boil. Now, what else? that's pretty much it. And I just kind of have to wait for everything to cook. And then, as I said, the recipe, basically what you have to do oh, I forgot about this. I actually wanted to throw in some bacon. So they have like pre-cut bacon here. I'm going to toss that actually in the pot with my onions. I forgot about it. But what you do now is afterwards you take like ham, like basic ham, right? And then you wrap it around the leek, and then you wrap the cannelloni around it. Or sorry, no, wrap this around the leek, then you wrap a piece of cheese around it, and you wrap the cannelloni on it, and then you put all the sauce together. And so I still have to make the bechamel sauce, but I don't have any more pots right now. So I'll do that afterwards. And yeah, so that's kind of my recipe. And then you can buy, so this is kind of like Parmesan cheese, and toss that on top. Throw it in the oven normally, but I don't have an oven pan. And so what I'm going to be doing is using one of my big frying pans and putting it on the stove. So a weird mixture of everything, because I realized I only have trays. And so to make cannellonis, you need a pan. But yeah, that's that. I'm going to open this, toss this in, and then I'm going to probably say goodbye, because you don't need to watch me boil leeks for the rest of the afternoon. Unless you do, then that's fine. But so I'm going to toss in my bacon here. I'm just going to let everything cook and let everything go. And then, as I said, I'm going to do some more orange juice, but I'm not going to do that on live with you guys because it is too loud. The machine's really loud. But then I'm going to do my tomato sauce. But as I said, I don't have any more room on my stove right now. But what you basically do is, I said, you take your tomato, cut it in half, or if you want to dice it or chop it up, whatever, throw it in a pot with olive oil and onions, and then just let it simmer down. And then if you have a hand blender or a mixer, you throw that into you mix it all up so that it becomes a sauce. It's not as thick and it's not as traditional as your Italian tomato sauce, but I actually prefer it because it's a lot lighter. And I make my own tomato sauce all the time because I absolutely love it. So yeah, that's that. I'm probably going to say goodbye, but thank you for hanging out with me for about half an hour. And I will give you an update on how my cannellonis turned out. It might be a weird mixture of flat pasta and whatever, but I'm sure it will taste perfectly fine and delicious. And yeah, so have a great day. Thank you for hanging out with me. And as I said, go and check out that link if you want to join us on Friday for our 2023 Zazzle Sales Planning Workshop. It's $23. It's on December 9th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we already have a whole bunch of people who have signed up, and we can't wait for you to join us as well. Okay. All right. Have a great day, everybody. And I will give you an update on how my recipe goes. Bye.